Let's call the meeting to order at 18:32. Stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
No, you're great.
Everybody good? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Okay. Need a motion for the approval of minutes of March 9th, 2026.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes as written for March 9th, 2026.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Just agenda?
Nothing on me.
Nothing. Here's citizens.
Hi, I'm Kendra Rickerby. I live at 665 Main Street, and I'm here to ask about the farmers market. We're not, this summer, I help out Trevor Barlow at the cafe. So I just want to say I'm here. We don't have any details, so if there's anything that I need to come back with, that's the request tonight. We're trying to gauge capacity, who's interested. Can we do the farmers market again this summer? It would be June to September. And then the second thing I bring, I know you are all deep in this, but back when the water was really filthy, I didn't believe that it was okay. So I went out and I bought myself a shower filter. And this is 3 months of use. And I put a new one in because this was before you had the resolution. I just want to be transparent that this isn't okay, that there's that much rust coming through the shower head. And I've taken note, and in 3 months, if it's clean, then we know we've got a good thing. But I just want to be transparent that I didn't believe the messaging and have health concerns. And this was put in on December 30th and taken out on April 3rd. So I don't know if anyone needs it, but those were my two things as a citizen.
What days of the market run?
It would, the farmer's market, that first item would be Friday nights from 4 to 7, starting in June, running through Labor Day.
Thank you.
I can have that on May's agenda too, for the board to vote on. For
That'd
the
be
use of the
great.
green, if that's, yep.
That would be great, and then I can have more details too. As we're all so busy. It's like, I just wanted to show up and say that we are hoping to do something to bring more foot traffic into the area.
I thought it was great last year.
Yeah.
I just want to give you an update. We are fortunate that we will have culvert crawlers again this year. I met with some of the Dartmouth students this weekend, and we will do about 5 sessions, including a good sized group on Green Up Day. So we will do wherever you all see the need. The app is online. Anybody can download it. It's really easy. And if you download the app, you can use that to monitor the culverts, ditches, and drains in your own neighborhood. You can use it anywhere in the world. It's really, really handy, very, very user-friendly. I've been walking around doing stuff here. I'll work out with Rick where he wants us, where the need is most. But if we're lucky, we'll have 2 teams on Green Up Day. We'll meet at the green, we'll divide up. Everybody that's a crawler gets to wear the cool hat. So you know we're here. Rick, were you going to talk about the waters, the low flow shower, all that stuff from Efficiency Vermont?
We can talk about it now, and I'll just cross it off the manager's
Talk
report.
about whatever.
Yeah, well, it was going to be at the very end, so this isn't a bad time to do it. But you also, culvert crawlers, you have training too as well.
Yeah, we do. On April 22nd, we're doing a workshop. It's 5:30 to 6:30. It will be at the Cavendish Library to start with, and then we'll actually go into the field. The part of the library is about a half an hour. So if anybody wants to come, learn how to do it, if they have trouble downloading the app, we'll help them with that. I don't know, you told me the guy from Chester, or folks from Chester are interested.
the Chester town manager had reached out to me and asked about the program. So I got him in touch with Cheris, but I don't know where they're at with it, but.
Okay, so, you know, Vermont is where, Cavendish is where it's all happening, so we have a little following. So they're there, we were able to work out with Efficiency Vermont to get low flow shower heads and aerators for people on town water. So Rick and I have been talking about how to do that distribution. 'Cause it's not gonna be possible to do a workshop and have them all come and we hand them out. That's not gonna happen, so we have Plan B.
Which will incorporate a little bit about the new water meters and
Yeah.
stuff in like a little,
They'll get a little
Yeah.
packet, water meters, suggestions to how to reduce their water usage, and then devices to help them. And not everybody's gonna want it, and some people have multiple showers and want multiple shower heads, so we'll do our best to accommodate. But thank you, Efficiency Vermont.
Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Jeff Gilchrist. I'd like to try to discuss at some point in time the allowance of ATV utilized on town roads. Being able to access trail systems, also be able to discuss the usage and where it would be permitted and not permitted.
I can put that on.
I was gonna say, would that be something like the snowmobiles where they draw out a map and let us know what they
I
like?
think if we start with like having it on the agenda
Yeah.
for like the May meeting, and then I think, go from there if we wanna move towards having an ATV use ordinance, and, you know, which would also be public hearings and stuff like that, and then we go from there. But first step is surely just to have it right on the agenda and post it on the agenda for May, so, if there is anybody out there that sees it from either side, they're able to come right in and really talk about it. But I'll have that on May, whatever day that is, I guess.
You know, the snowmobile club that comes and asks us about use of various roads and stuff through
Yes,
the
sir.
winter. They draw out maps and everything for us, so maybe
Yep.
wanted to
Absolutely.
jump ahead to at least.
I'll come up with some information as well as there's 17 towns in the state that allow it now. In some of the verbiage and how they've used it from Plymouth and Reading, to be able to put that in front of you guys so you can see what they're using, and how they allow it and what, like, Plymouth does it once a year, select board votes on it for allowance to take place. And I mean, I don't, there's many different ways to look at it, but it already happens now. And it's done illegally, so I think people would like to be able to do it legally, especially to be able to access trail systems. So,
Can I ask you a question? Do they run the ATVs on state roads, like 131, or is it just on something?
certain highways are allowed in certain areas, yes. It would be to get from one part of the trail system to another.
Mhm.
Alright. So we'll discuss it in depth in May, so if you wanna show up, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Alright, and we will move on. Old business. Paving.
So I just wanted to just give a heads up on where we're at with the paving. We have gone out to bid, and as discussed, that's High Street, Pleasant Street, and Ready Hill. For this year, I don't know. I haven't got the bids yet. They are due the April 30th. So I'll have the opening that day as well. And I'll be able to come to the May meeting with some numbers and see where we're at, and hopefully we can fit it all in. I know it's gonna be pretty tight,
Okay.
but we're in the process right now. It's out to bid.
Okay.
Rick, is there any kind of a plan for like 20 Mile Street in the future? Obviously not
Yep.
this year.
Yeah,
But in the future?
next year, we're available for a state paving grant, which is a few $100,000. So you get a lot more done whether you use your local money and that state grant. So my kind of plan, and you know, it's up to the board as well, is when you can do almost $500,000 worth of paving, you can get a lot more of 20 Mile Stream done instead of little by
Yeah,
little.
100,000 here and there, yeah.
So
absolutely.
so next year is kind of the thought process with that. I don't know if we can make it all the way. I doubt it, but
It'd be a start.
it's pretty rough.
It's getting really bad.
It
Just
is.
thinking of it on a perspective of getting fire trucks up, I mean, it's probably one of the roughest roads we're putting these trucks on.
We're gonna have to do put some hot mix down this year just to get by another year. But yeah, we're planning to do. It's definitely on the list real soon. Hopefully we get that grant, because that's a big part of it.
We had someone in the neighborhood fall on the uneven pavement, and they got a black eye and hurt their wrist.
Right around where your house, because that's some of
Top-
the worst. Is
Yeah, that, basically between
from
the
you and
Terrells and I.
Terrell's. Yeah, that's probably.
And
the worst
and
of all.
also, a lot of vehicles who are not four-wheel drive go off onto other sides of the roads to avoid that. My
I
only
might be guilty.
concern, is speeding on that road, as bad as it is.
That's-
It needs to be, I almost got hit with my dog the other day. They came like inches from my back. I don't know how we can change some of the policies on.
And a tar road is, a clean tar road, they're
Well,
gonna
remember
go
the car
faster.
that flipped
They are.
after they paved that road that you guys came out for?
It always happens.
Yeah.
It really does. But the alternative is not paving it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
I drove on on Sunday, it's bad.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
right now we have it's full of speed bumps. Pretty much is what it is.
Not man-made.
I know.
Tire wrecking.
At every culvert. Yeah.
Alright, townwide yard sale.
So at last month's meeting, Margot asked about that. I said we'd put it on this agenda to be voted on, and that was the use of the greens. I don't remember if you gave a date.
July 25th.
July 25th. Sorry, I didn't have that one written down.
And it's the same 10 to 2 and Subapi birthday.
We'll be there.
Great. We count on you. You guys did really well last year.
We have that right
Are you gonna do a coin drop? Or you
now.
don't
Oh,
know?
probably. Yeah.
Okay, well, do you need approval if they're gonna do a coin drop? You want,
It's
Well,
131, so.
Yeah, we'll worry about, we usually have to do that through the state,
State.
because it's a state highway, but we worry about it as we get closer.
okay, all right.
So we should have a motion, yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the townwide yard sale on July 25th from 10 to 2 on the Village Green.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're all good. New business.
So our Zoom host is Adam Goudreau from Agency of Transportation is here. He's a structures project manager for AOT to discuss the I guess it's bridge number 5.
Yeah.
I didn't even know if it doesn't even really look like a bridge, but off of on 131 for next year's construction, correct?
Correct.
Floor is yours.
So improvising a little bit here, you can all see that there. I'll put this on a chair turned around so you folks can see. So yeah, as Rick mentioned, Adam Goudreau with the Vermont Agency of Transportation, project manager in structures, and I have the Cavendish ERP 23-1 parentheses 233 project, and it's bridge number 5 on Route 131. I'll get into the exact location on that, but it conveys an unnamed tributary to the Black River. Just an overview of what I'll talk about. how we approach projects, particularly this one, which in the title you saw ER. It's programmed as an emergency project from the 23 flooding. I'll also talk about the design progress on it, where that stands today, and then provide everyone an opportunity to ask questions about the project. So kind of stepping down through that agenda, talk about the project development process, give an overview of the existing conditions, the alternative that was selected for this project, how we will maintain traffic during construction, talk about the current schedule, and then give a brief summary and open up to the floor. So the project development process, it starts at really the project being funded, and then we have a project definition phase where we typically get a lot of input from the stakeholders, and then once the project's defined, then we move into project design, which is highlighted here. In this instance, we are a fair way through the project design. We're in final plans, and most of those grayed out things are boxes we've checked at this point. So we're currently developing the plans and specifications to be able to advertise those for construction, and we're working through the right-of-way acquisition process. So where this project deviates a little bit from the traditional project development process is that being an emergency project, the scope was defined kind of at the time of the emergency or following the emergency between the maintenance district and federal highway. The maintenance district goes out and does a damage assessment. They work with our hydraulics to determine what an appropriate hydraulic fix is there, and then FHWA gives that scope its blessing, if you will. So that's this image here of that assessment report. So going back to where the project is located, so it's on 131, probably about midway on 131, just south, or just east, sorry, of Howard Hill Road. So you can see that there, the Howard Hill Road bridge coming across the Black River, just to the east of that. Sorry, this is a little delayed. So the existing conditions, this is what I'm going to read from this. So the roadway classification is a rural major collector. We have the existing bridge type is a corrugated metal pipe arch. So it's kind of like a squash pipe, if you will. We, as the state, V-Trans, own it and are responsible for the maintenance of it. And it was constructed originally in 1960. So again, some deficiencies with it. This, as I mentioned, was one that was identified during the 23 floods. During that time, it had a roadway washout due to inadequate hydraulic capacity. So the existing culvert, it does not meet our, I guess going back to hydraulic capacity, the waterway opening on that is approximately 25 square feet. It also doesn't meet what we call bank full width, so basically it allows for stream equilibrium, so the stream is allowed to meander through that bank full width. It also constricts the channel, so you'll notice up above the channel, what I'm talking about with that bank full width, the channel looks wider and then it funnels down into that culvert. So part of the project is to, well, the whole crux of the project is to increase resiliency by upsizing this structure. One of the things, why did that not advance over there? One of the things I mentioned there in the existing conditions was that the culvert is perched at the outlet, so that not only does that allow erosion of that embankment at the base there, it also environmentally isn't So existing resources at this site, this was part of that project definition phase during that, when it was defined, you look at what's out there for existing resources. It's within the range of the northern long-eared bat, which is a rare, threatened, endangered species. However, our biologist did an assessment of the site and did not determine a suitable habitat there for that. So we cleared that area for bats. We don't have any significant impacts to other resources, whether those are wetlands, wildlife habitat, such as the bat, or agricultural soils. We do not have any impacts to archaeological sensitive areas. And then with regard to historic, this structure is not considered historic. And then just a couple other like user related things. So it's considered a moderate use bicycle corridor, and there's not currently a transit route on 131, at least not to my knowledge. Open to correction on that one. Some design criteria, so average daily traffic, just over 2,000 vehicles a day. Our design hourly volume is 230 vehicles per hour, so you're really looking at your peak traffic times there. And then percent trucks is about 10.4%, with a design speed of 50 miles an hour. So the alternative that was selected for this, which really came out of that damage assessment, was to replace this structure with a 12-foot long span, so that's along the roadway, so 12-foot wide structure, and then it'll actually be an 8-foot tall box with 3 foot of stone in it, so you'll have 5 feet of clear from top of the stone to the roof of the box. That opens that waterway area that I talked about up to 60 square feet, so about roughly 2.4 times what is there currently. The new vertical alignment we're keeping, I believe it's a 5% grade through the structure. The intent there is to keep debris and any material that moves down the stream moving through it into the Black River, rather than depositing right at the culvert and blocking it. As far as the roadway goes, it will be how it is today. Total width-wise, we'll have a 2-foot shoulder, 12-foot lane, 12-foot lane, 2-foot shoulder. And then at the inlet and the outlet of the structure, you have these cutoff walls that go down 4 feet below the stream bed, and that just prevents water from getting underneath and eroding underneath your structure. So this is just a layout showing the current design plan. You can see the culvert is on the existing alignment. We have some stonework at the inlet, and then stonework that will have to occur along the Black River embankment for 131. So maintenance of traffic, and this is really where coming here today, and the main purpose is how does this project affect you all. We evaluated 3 different options. The first one being a road closure with off-site detour. That's would be signed on state routes. Obviously, potential for a local bypass, though I don't know what there is for that here. Phase construction, that's where we would have traffic down to 1 lane, replace half the structure, move traffic over to that side, and then replace the other half. And then the third option is temporary bridge, which you just build a temporary bridge off alignment, replace your structure, put traffic back on, and remove the temporary bridge. Due to the site constraints here, the phase construction and the temporary bridge are not a feasible option. You have, if I go back to that plan, so the northwest quadrant there's a fairly steep slope that comes down, and then on the other side you have the Black River, so there's no place to either build out embankment or I guess cut into that slope to put a temporary roadway through on that side. And the existing roadway width is not sufficiently wide to be able to excavate deep enough for 1 phase at a time. So what we're proposing is a 4-day road closure occur sometime between June 28th, 2027 and August 23rd, so we try to avoid any school traffic that may use this road. The big thing here, the signed state detour, I believe I have it. Next slide, would be if you're coming from the east, you would have to take 106 to 10 and then back up 103, or likewise coming from the west, the opposite direction. So that total end to end, if you are right at the project site, is just over 23 miles. And if you were to go from the junction with 106 to the junction of 103 along 131, that total is 9 miles. So making that detour of 14.1 miles adds an additional distance of 5.1 miles if you're going like through. So I would say for folks who are who are near the project and looking to go around one way or the other, it's essentially adding like 10 miles-ish to their trip. So current project schedule, as we mentioned, is spring, summer of 2027. As I mentioned, that closure period would occur sometime between June 28th and August 23rd. Contractor is required to give us, I believe, at least a week or 2 weeks notice on that. And leading up to the closure, they are allowed to reduce traffic to one lane for up to 2 weeks. So one-way alternating. That's only during daytime construction. At the end of the day, it needs to be opened back up to 2 lanes of traffic. And then our current total project cost, so this is including engineering, right-of-way, construction costs, is approximately 1.3 million. So that's all I had today. I figured I'd open up to any questions that anyone has.
Could you say the dates again? Did you say June 20th?
June
to August-
28th
Oh, June 28th, okay. To August 23rd.
to August 23rd. And the hope there is to avoid the school year. And certainly if there's any like townwide functions that happen on an annual basis, that would be good to know about too, because we can give the contractor a heads up of when those are as well. Potentially exclude that.
Who's still the bike race that goes through?
Yeah, but I don't think they go
The
131.
overland?
No, they go back roads.
They go the back roads. But is the phased construction just more expensive or not possible at all? Cause closure of 4 days of that road, the roads that we have where people will go around are not suitable for 2,000 vehicles or truck traffic at all.
Yep.
So, I mean, that 4-day closure just seems, if it's avoidable, would be great.
Gotcha. So the reason we excluded the phase is you would need temporary supportive excavation. So you'd have to have some kind of wall system to support the roadway while you're working on one side, and that's just very cost prohibitive for a structure of this size. Whereas if we give them essentially a long weekend, they can come in and just get it in and out. It's overall less disruption to traffic.
Unless you live on those roads.
That's fair.
And guess who does?
Well, no, I don't quite live right there, but close.
You're close enough.
But I mean, we're talking truck traffic that would just get stuck. I mean, not even can't turn around.
From here, is it on this side of?
So if you go down and we
past the
have
bridge.
Howard Hill Bridge,
Past
right
it.
past that is, you'll see some guardrails. It's
So it's
right there.
past that, so it's not gonna
It's-
block
It
cutting
won't.
up to
Tarbell Hill? No.
Tarbell Hill.
That's where people would,
People will go over.
I know, but I'm thinking of you and me and
right.
something happening up there. Fire and ambulance.
Well, that's the other thing is fire and ambulance. I don't know how many calls you guys get for in the river down through there.
Well, if there's no cars, we shouldn't have any.
Yeah. We shouldn't have cars in the river
Yeah,
now.
that'd be great.
For our end of it, I mean, we could get up to anywhere in Cavendish going up over Tarbell Hill Road, and then if, like, for my department going to Weathersfield, we just take the other way for that
Yeah.
couple of days.
So you would close the road right down in Weather, well, no, there's still some
Well, not
houses there.
closed, but yeah, the detour would start down.
The detour will start at the intersection.
Down and downers.
And downers, correct.
And it'd be open to through traffic to people who lived off it.
To people
Right,
who
so-
live, yeah, it's,
Yeah, so it might be something maybe
Would you say
to
close to through traffic?
make sure Cavendish Fire knows so that they could have Weathersfield cover those couple
I
of
was gonna
houses. 'Cause
say.
I think there's like, what, 1 or 2 properties on the other side of this culvert?
Yeah.
So they should probably be notified for that. They'll have to make an arrangement.
Scotty would cover it.
Yeah, have Weathersfield cover it.
Plus the houses that are down on like 106. We have a couple of houses down.
Yeah, and I think they already have a pre-plan on
Okay.
that with Weathersfield anyway, just because it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Does the state ever put out no trucks or anything signs with these detour, you know? Off of 106, we have a couple roads that will come up over to Tarbell Hill that are just not
You-
suitable.
you're saying, so, like off of 131, if there's like a town highway, just putting like a no truck sign.
Right.
I can look into that, I don't know that we typically do.
We've had them try it before.
Yeah.
Trucks
Doesn't-
try to take
Yeah,
those
it
roads,
doesn't
yeah.
usually go well.
It doesn't end well for
They
them.
don't always follow signs either.
No. No, because their
Yeah.
GPS tells them this is the shortest route. We don't have to go all the way around.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the people who listen to the GPS in the wintertime and try to cut through the state forest up behind.
Yeah,
behind
I know
me
about
and
the
Dave.
trail.
Yeah.
End
The
up
truckers
off the
that
road
still go
somewhere.
in the notch.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Community host.
Yeah, we can give you a minute to get that squared away.
We got a year to keep reminding people.
What's that?
We got a year to keep reminding
That work?
people.
Yeah. I mean, it's the
Good
best
one.
way to do a project. It's
Can you
just,
4 days.
Yeah, it's just a
4 or 5 days.
Same.
Less than a week.
Thank you.
I've done it with paving locally, so.
Yeah. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay. So discussion of applying for state structure grants.
So I wanted board approval to apply for this grant. We're due. We're actually very due. We can probably get one of these structure grants for the next 2 or 3 years. We just haven't taken one in a while, but now that we're putting money away for structures, I believe we can now do them. The deadline for me to apply is April 15th. I can send that out if the board wants to move ahead with it. But I also wanted to say that I think one of the worst ones in town, and it doesn't look that bad, but it's high on the state's list as well, is 20 Mile Stream up by the mansion, that large culvert. That hydraulically meets the needs of the area, but the invert of that has rotted out. So we can put $100,000 to $200,000 into that and save it for a long time and save ourselves from $1 million, $1.5 million project when that comes. And with the 50,000, we will have, there's a 20% match to these grants. They're usually, I was told to apply for 250,000. I don't believe it's gonna cost that much, but that is the full grant, because also this project is very difficult to engineer. We're not gonna have engineered plans go up there. It has to kind of be a design build, because it's pretty specialized to be able to go into the brook, pour the concrete and everything. So we would have to go out with an RFP, and then pick a contractor, through that. But looking for the board's opinion on, for one, applying for the grant, and two, that being the structure. We have other needs for structures in town, we know that, but having these grants least for the next 2 or 3 years. And this $50,000 a year, I think we can get one a year for at least the next couple.
I'll entertain the motion.
I make a motion that Rick applies for the grant for the structures.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You good to go?
Perfect. We'll make it happen.
Okay. Discussion and possible appointment of auditor.
So, we do have a few appointments tonight, but Claudine is actually here. Claudine Lefevre, she lives up on 20 Mile Stream. She had contacted me and wrote me an email, and also her resume. I'm looking to be appointed to the position of auditor. And I do want to say, Claudine, that I know you had mentioned other boards as well. There is still other openings. I didn't want to push everything on you. But, I know you had mentioned Planning Commission as well, but
Yeah, I'm happy to, I'm my mom's caregiver, so I was a director in England, and so I'm used to high power, fast pace, high demand, and managing, 40 people worldwide, so I handle things quite well. I also have a great attention to detail. So I'm moved here 2 years ago. My mom had a traumatic experience at Dartmouth, so she's now better, thank God. And I'm here to be a good citizen. So I want to do as much as I can, to fill in any spaces that need assistance. So I'm happy to pick up, multiple opportunities to fill in the gaps and get us into a better situation, however I'm utilized.
we do have three open positions. I'm pretty sure the auditor last year might also want to be appointed, but I haven't got that email yet. But it'd be great to have two, for sure. It's a tall order, and I don't think he would mind help either as well.
Need motions for all this?
Claudine, do you have
Sure.
any experience in, like, I read your resume, you've done a lot. Very impressive. Have you done any auditing? I know, I can see a
Yeah.
lot what you've done.
With P&L, I had to do a lot of auditing. So basically, with you doing sales and marketing, you have to apply your costs to what your outputs are. So your integrated marketing, everything that you do has an audit number to it. It has a code to it. So I had to work with finance all the time and balance the books and work with profit and loss. So and also I've done a lot of financing in the past for bookkeeping for people off my off time. So I've helped members in California when I lived there doing bookkeeping for them. But most of it is, making sure that you have good coding and you understand what you're applying the finances for. To me, it's numbers.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure whether we have that coding system, but, gotta know your debits and credits really to.
Yeah,
For
well,
auditing
the
to
coding
make sure
helps
it's
a lot,
done.
like streamlines things and makes things into more micro, macro buckets,
Yeah.
which makes more transparency. And also it looks good to your citizens because they can see where things are applied in top level instead of so micro. Cause you have to look at finances and the general public, a lot of people it goes over their heads, and there's also people who wanna see the finer detail. And also sometimes, people don't understand why so much money go to this and go to that. So I think with the auditor position, it'd be also helpful to, put some words to those numbers so that it's more palatable.
Do you think Andy's coming back, or?
I have heard that it's a good possibility, but I have not gotten an email or asked him directly.
And I'm sure he would be thrilled having someone work with him, because then they have to work with the outside auditors also.
also interested in the animal control because I think that.
Check.
You got it.
I'm an animal activist. I just, in fact, have to get my little puppy license. I just got a baby old English sheepdog. But I think someone needs to make people accountable for the care and the quality of animals that we have in the community because it can get out of control. And good citizens should be responsible and accountable for their pets.
Yeah, our last town manager enjoyed that job immensely.
What'd you say?
Our last town manager enjoyed that job immensely. Brendan had so
I think
much
we
fun
could
with that.
Nominate you for that right away.
I'm not opposed to putting that in the motion as well.
Did you want it?
Currently, right now, the sheriff's department is handling a lot of those, cause it is an ordinance and that's what we pay the sheriff's department to do, is to do our ordinances. It is nice to have a local person, for two reasons. One, you're a little bit more personable, and two, when the sheriff's is here for 2 hours a week, or 8 hours a week, or 2 hours a day, they're not spending an hour or two on that as well. So, time better spent.
I would love it because I get the phone calls.
And then you call me. And I'm like,
Well,
It's
I will
posted,
entertain a
Rick.
motion
So
for
I
both
think it's
those
great.
positions for Claudia.
I make a motion that we appoint Claudine for the position of auditor and for animal control.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
we,
Is that for a period of 1 year? Cause there is an auditor 3-year position as well.
but don't you have to, if you're appointed, you're appointed to the.
Never mind, yeah,
Yeah, it's just
until
till-
the next election.
So you'd have to run next.
She had to come down and get the forms and.
Yeah.
I heard everybody likes cupcakes, so.
Yeah.
Great, well, thank you. You can send me an email or a call and we can go over the particulars on the, on both of those sometime this week.
Discussion and possible appointment of tree warden.
We also had some interest for the tree warden. Matt Seaton had given me a call and talked to me, and he has now sent me an email saying that he is ready and interested in filling the vacant post, because as you remember, Tim Calabrese had to give that up last year, so we've kind of been without a tree warden. But Matt has also talked with Tim, and Tim will help him out quite a bit, so.
I make a motion, we appoint Matt Seaton as tree warden.
Second.
Any opposed? Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
I won't duel, pass it. Any opposed? Alright, we're good. Thank you, Matt. And appointment of trustee of public funds.
Doris Eddy is looking to be appointed to the trustee of public funds. You have this email written as 5 years, but I think that's the same as well.
Yeah,
She would have to
you're right.
run next year, but
Yeah.
can be appointed until the next,
Next election.
yep.
I make a motion that we appoint Doris Eddy as the trustee of public funds.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeah, we're good, that too. Thank you, Doris. Okay, yearly adoption of local emergency management plan.
So yearly, we have to redo our local emergency management plan. Really, the only changes this year was Diane has been removed as town clerk and treasurer, and Michael Murphy has been put in. Then it's pretty close to the same after that.
My name's
But it
not
has
on
to-
it, right?
What's that?
My name's not on it anywhere, right?
I believe it is.
Yes,
But you're in the list, I think, of in the back.
Okay. not on the front list.
I could be wrong.
Who's our coordinator now? Is it Chris?
Oh, you are the select board, Chris Marks, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. You are listed as a select board
Yeah.
alternate.
In the back's fine. It's that
The
first
very
page
last
that was-
page.
Yeah. Did that for many a year. I'm good.
But if it's approved tonight, I just need to sign the adoption form and send it back to them.
Make a motion, we adopt the emergency management plan as written.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Got another one. Alright, and approval of liquor license.
Make sure I have these where I can find them to sign them to. So we have one liquor license that needs approval. It is for Grafton Cheese for a second class license. Of course, that just allows them, to sell beer, wine, and ready-made spirits on, to be drank off premises. There's nothing to sign, it just, anymore with these, it just needs a vote of approval.
We need a motion?
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Grafton Cheese liquor license.
A second.
Any, nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, we're good. Approval for bank signatures.
Mascoma Bank, one of our banks, needs to have minutes from a meeting approving our new town treasurer to be able to access the bank accounts. I do have it written here. If somebody wants to read that as a motion.
That's a long one.
Okay.
I'll do it as long as you have it. Are you ready? I make a motion to update the bank's signature to Michael C. Murphy, Town Treasurer, for the following Mascoma bank accounts: Sewer Fund, number 931-467751, Water Funds, 931-467778, Special Funds, 931-467786.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
You couldn't read
Alright, Mike can sign.
that one. Good cheat.
Yeah. I figured we'd have that one in writing, so
Yeah.
we don't miss anything on that.
Number 9, annual financial plan for the town highways.
Yep, so we have, I have this, which is needing a signature. This is the annual financial plan for the town highways. The rule is you have to make sure you have municipal taxes equivalent to greater than the sum of $300 per mile for each class 1, 2, and 3. We make that pretty easily, but we still have to sign it every year and approve it, so I guess you would need a motion and then signatures. Oh, yeah, that can follow.
Make a motion, we adopt it as written.
Okay.
Second.
First and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Our district advisor comes down, fills out that sheet for us, so it's done correctly.
Okay. Discussion and possible approval for state road standards.
So the state has updated a little bit on their town road and bridge standards. I believe the last time that you might have approved them was 2019. Really the only difference from the 2019 to this one is saying that any crossroad, any culvert that goes under the road must be replaced with an 18-inch culvert. And it's also, you know, it's giving you the ability to upsize any culvert that is regularly damaged from heavy rain because it's not big enough. These are things that we're doing already anyways.
Did you say 18-inch?
18-inch if it's under the road, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Like all those ones that we put in on 20 Mile Street.
They're probably all 18, weren't they?
Right.
Yep.
That would, yeah.
Yes, right before the last time it was paved, you mean down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. We put in 18 everywhere. Anything new is 18. We pretty much stick to these rules anyways.
Do you need a motion on that, or?
We should, then sign, yeah.
Sign what? Which one? This is the.
Oh, did I not give you that one, the second one?
That's, yeah, you need to be the second.
Oh, yeah, well, we can
Who's that?
have a motion, you can sign that one then too.
And I'll have a motion for the possible approval of the state road standards.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the state road standards.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I start getting confused when I have so many.
I don't know. It's okay. Alright, as that's going around, you wanna talk to us about the rec director job description, or you just want a couple of minutes?
No, I can get
Organize
this
that,
squared
sure.
away afterwards, yep.
Alright, we can wait.
That one's pretty quick,
Okay.
or not quick, but, so, since budget season, we had started talking about having a job description for the, Town of Cavendish Recreation Director. So this has come up with a, kind of a quick rough draft, open to obviously any suggestions or modifications that anybody would be looking for. So I just kinda wanna open up that discussion tonight, on that. But it pretty much lays out what we've been talking about, you know, focusing on basically, you know, it's mostly a volunteer recreation program. We have one rec director who needs to have multiple volunteer people, whether it's coaches or other people. But this would focus on year-round community offerings, you know, including seasonal sports, music, dance, arts program, community social events, celebrations, that type of thing. Plus communications and outreach, program development to make sure that we're always adapting to what programs should be and remain relevant and inclusive. As well as intermunicipal, because as you know, we do have to go with Ludlow sometimes when we just don't have enough people. That's where we're at so far on that. It's not in depth, but it's beginning to.
And the person in that current position is?
Stephanie Knockenauer, I have given her a copy of this, saying this is a rough draft. I emailed it to her last week, but I haven't heard back from her yet on what any thought that she has on that. And it does, you know, obviously it answers to the select board and town manager as well.
So is this all new, or is there something that's been there in the past for the job description?
There was no job description that I knew of. No, this is new.
Good.
Because I still find it's hard to me to fathom that we need a recreation director in this town, because there's no, anything that's been done as far as I can see since Grevin Field has gone out. I do hear that there's something that's done at the school, but I just don't honestly see the need for it. We took 50,000 out, we voted on that, and then there's some extra money that was found and we threw it back in. But I don't think we should have a recreation director position unless it's really needed.
Should we call it something other, you know, it's recreation, but I think you're alluding to it should be more community things also. And that's all. And if, should we be more specific, I'd say, I don't know how these things are written up. Maybe there should be 2 events per so-and-so, or 3 events, or 1 event per month during this. Maybe be more specific, but, and I understand what Dave is saying, but it may be a name that's also community related, and just not what it's done for the school, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
But you wanna be, from what I understand, you wanna be a little more encompassing. But maybe more direction on what you're expecting other than the sports stuff, you know?
Well, that was why doing
Right.
this is to move away from just a sports program.
Right.
It's not just baseball, basketball, and soccer. It's, you know, it's townwide, you know, events and, you know, and stuff like that. But if we're moving away from even that position, I don't know if we or even need to talk about it.
Well,
But I
right
mean,
now we have it for another year,
we have another year, yep.
so I'm sure it'll come up again budget
But we
season.
don't have to automatically continue that position after July 1st if we don't feel it's needed either.
Next July 1st.
Yeah, it's in the budget.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it'll come up budget discussion next year, or later this year, for next year. So we'll have this discussion again, we'll see where things stand and how things are going. But I think having something in writing is a good idea. This is probably a good start of where we wanna go and where we're headed, and as maybe one side decreases, we can increase the other side of things and our expectations and what we're doing, and she may choose to.
That is something
Right.
that wasn't her vision, or it could be. It
Right.
could be it wasn't her vision, but you know, if it's the town's vision for that, then.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff she's doing, I'm sorry, Margaret, doing for the school is fine, but do something more. Before I came, I looked up on Ludlow and see what their description was. It was a lot of, you know, this stuff, but maybe we have to look forward. Are they specific about doing certain things for the community? Because this would be something new for Stephanie,
Mhm.
you know. But, go ahead, Margaret.
I just wanna point out that since January, the Historical Society, which only gets $4,000 from the town, and we're required to basically take care of 2 town buildings, we have now done 4 or 5 programs for around the Revolutionary theme. We've got our 5th one coming up. We've offered again and again. We have, some of them are very well attended, some of them are not. Some of them involve music, some involve art, some are lectures. I can tell you that a lot of the people that come are not from Cavendish. And I remember working very hard with Rich Stack on the 250th anniversary of the town. Having had the flood, we had a parade, we had a barbecue, and the turnout was really abysmal. And I was shocked by it, considering what we had just been through with Irene. And I asked someone, I said, how come you didn't come to the barbecue or the parade? And their response was, well, we thought we'd go apple picking instead. I'm not sure. You've got a group of people that are doing all kinds of volunteer. Look at all the programs CCCA does, the Historical Society does. Your baseball program this year is being coordinated by Ludlow. Your director isn't even involved with it. I think it would be great if we put some investment in things like the farmer's market, like all the things that a number of us have been trying to do, where we beg, borrow, and steal money. But I am a bit perplexed how this is gonna work out, and I would agree with Dave. You know, would I like to have a bunch more money to help, so I don't have to constantly come up for things like culvert crawlers, or figure out how I'm gonna have enough money to bring in people that I think would be really good to have speak and perform? Sure. So I think, you know, I think it's important for towns to put things aside. I have no problem with a community organizer that's doing really good strategic planning and saying, how can we use the farmer's market to bring in bands, to bring foot traffic in, to support our businesses? And this job description isn't doing that.
Right.
And that's what, if you're gonna do this, make it a community organizer and put some teeth in it. I wanna see a plan. I'm not working for somebody just 'cause y'all decided maybe they might be nice for the job. I want somebody that's got some experience and that they will raise enough money that they can build their own salary out, 'cause I have to do that.
This would be something to bring up during the budget season.
I tried to talk to y'all about this. I wasn't
Bring it up.
here the last night you had when you kowtowed.
Then bring it up again.
But I think before you go into this, you have the opportunity to change things before July 1. And I think you really need to change this, so you're gonna get somebody in here that really knows how to community organize, and really knows how to do events, and has an eye for how we build out our communities, support our businesses, not just the school. But we have businesses that need our support. How are we gonna bring back, you know, you've got all of these volunteer groups here that are doing amazing things. And you're supporting something that really hasn't, exactly to what David said. Dave said it's not.
I just
Claudine?
don't see
Sorry.
where this position has been justified the last couple of years when I've been in here. We should see, I believe that we should see a timesheet saying what she does each week. I wouldn't know her if she walked in the door right now. We've talked about this at several meetings, and I think that person should have come.
So, Dave, this is the thing. I had said when all this stuff happened with Rev at the beginning of the year, I said, great, all right, Historical Society can organize town ball. Absolutely played 250 years ago. Everybody would have played it, figured out where I could do it up at Grevin, lined up the people that could make the bats, the whole 9 yards. But as soon as I heard you all appointed a rec director, I'm like, well, why am I doing their job? So I said, no. I mean, you know, is this person gonna organize something for the 4th of July? Hell, it's her 250th. You know, you have to think about this, and you have to think about the message it sends to those of us that are working our tails off to really bring a lot of stuff here. I mean, Maren Mutter spent her own money to bring Mans to make that farmer's market work. Where's the support for her?
I just wanna offer the perspective of having moved here to this area, Ludlow and Proctorsville 6 years ago from Waterbury, Vermont, which I watched after Hurricane Irene and was very involved as a volunteer with Revitalize Waterbury. And now it's a totally different place to live, and when you watch the real estate market and how it's shifting, the community that I don't know much, I don't know anything about director person position, but I think we have a benchmark for what Waterbury did after a flood to put its economic footprint back into a vibrant state that brought foot traffic to restaurants, made families want to move there. The event planner, community developer was not a rec director, but they had a focused position that harnessed all this, and it's a beautiful thing to watch after 10 years to see a flood impacted area now be one of the coveted areas to live in Vermont and move to, and I would hope that we could do the same for Cavendish and Proctorsville. Now that I own a home here in Proctorsville, I look at it with a different perspective than being a renter, and so it also opens up more grant opportunities and incentives to get Vermont arts councils and people to bring the music, and a position like this can do all that. So I offer, if I make phone calls to friends who have job descriptions, it's similar to what I heard you say. I just wanna put it out there that it can be done differently for the benefit of all of us.
No, I agree this has to have more teeth and get involvement from people who are working all these different things, and I know how much Marco does, so.
But you have the option of changing this for July
Scott.
1.
So for Claudia?
I just have 2 points. I'm new to the area, so I come from a perspective of never been here through a lot, the good times and the bad times. And I was, for 4 years I did undergrad, I was the chair of the entertainment committee. So we used to put on events for the whole college campus, and we had to do diversity because, you know, we used to have a spring day, and, you know, we'd wake people up at 7 in the morning with bagpipes, and it was, everybody waited for that. Like, we had fake outs where people would think that the event was happening the next day, and they missed classes because they thought they were smarter than we were. So it takes a lot, you know, to move a village. And I think one thing is getting an understanding of what your citizens want. You know, what are they worried about? You know, if you're going to have someone come and manage different entities to come together, be it volunteers, be it paid positions, are they doing things that the people want to do, can afford, are interested in? You need to do market research. You've got to find out what your citizens are worried about and give them something to not worry about, the polar opposite. So music, food, but if you have vendors come in that are going to charge $25 for a pizza, what's the point? You know, you've got to take a grassroots initiative on this, not a capitalistic one. That means people bringing things that they want to sell for their wares, but don't be, you know, charging New York prices, because you're pricing people out of paradise. The second thing is, and this is no offense to anybody who lives here, I live here now, so I work very hard to keep my property clean. You know, my mom laughs at me because I cut the lawn like I'm using tweezers, because I have pride where I live, and I also like when people drive down 20 Mile, they look and stop and look at our house and our barn, and, you know, they're like, oh, that's beautiful property, you know, because I think it brings value added to the community if you keep care of your property. I see a lot of times when people come through with out-of-state license plates, they don't stop here. They drive through because they want to go to Ludlow. They might go to Singleton's, but it's just to pick up the trendy thing and drive down to their condo. Main Street is not, to me, a main street. It's not foot traffic friendly. And Main Street has to include Cavendish and Proctorsville. You know, and you need to be able to walk that with a safe sidewalk, and you know, where are you going to park cars? These are all things that I, as a doing organization, would worry about. You know, you could hire someone to come in and put all these events on, but if people can't feel safe to go and see see these activities and events, they're not going to go. They're going to be worried about traffic. They're going to be worrying about, you know, getting around. Is it safe for someone like my mother who walks with a cane? You know, these are the things that health and safety has to be thought about. So I'm feeling what everybody's saying and their concerns, spending the money, bringing someone in who's, you know, isolating to one specific sector of events, or, you know, I think the most important thing is there are a lot of good people that live here, and they deserve to have entertainment provided to them because it's hard. Life's hard.
All right, so this is getting
Sorry.
way off in places that right now I don't care about, because we can't have this discussion. If we're gonna create a new job and fund that, fine, but that's for discussions in the fall. 3 people have said we can change this if we want before July 1st. The town, which you weren't here, and you're forgetting the amount of people that were here when we were gonna cut the rec director position. We had people come out of the woodwork, so there's a whole group of people that aren't being represented right now. So if we're gonna discuss changing this again, one, can we? Since the town voted the budget with a rec director in it. And 2, then we have to warn it for the next meeting, saying that we're considering that.
If there was no job description before, though, if there was no job description before,
But there's a precedent.
does that allow it to be changed?
It was what was done before Terry officially had the job by all the volunteers that did it for the 20-some odd years or whatever, how many years. And then the 3 or 4 years or 5 years or 6 years or whatever it was that Terry had the job, that got passed on as the expectations to our current.
And we're looking to, I think, we've taken a lot of those people's concerns in, and that's, I mean, we're calling this the recreation director, but it kind of hits on everything everybody's talking about, just not at the grand scale that, you know, somebody like Waterbury. I mean, we just don't have the ability to, you know, to pay somebody what Waterbury would pay them.
Oh, it was actually a part-time, modest,
So maybe, I mean,
it wasn't more than 40K.
well, good.
I can tell you that, having it.
Well,
Are
Waterbury's
they
also a
looking
big
for
city.
another?
It's bigger, but I'm just talking about replicating, you know,
Right.
emulating a model, not doing exactly the
Right.
same, but being that we were flood impacted.
Yeah.
And our
Because
businesses are still hurting almost 3 years later.
Mhm.
You know, I was at that meeting when Terry's position was voted in, and the agreement that night was in 5 years, they would relook at that and the town would get to vote whether or not they wanted to keep a rec director. So if anything, it should have really gone up for a vote for the town if they wanted it, and I think if you did have it, who knows?
I think when the last time we changed it and the people came in, there was a big group here, and they were really focused on what this person did for the school and for the
Exactly.
sports thing. I could see that, you know. I do agree that there's got to be a lot of things with this position, but on that piece of it, I agree that we should have a person for that. But I also think that person could do a lot more.
Other things.
Well, if that person has the inclination to do it, and we could give something very specific on how she could help you people do things.
She never returned my phone calls.
Yeah, I mean,
So
let's
let's
say
not-
the person, whoever is in there.
No, stop. Not going down this road.
Anything if we would, I mean, we can talk about the position, you know, all we want. We shouldn't bring up the current person in it,
Right.
but
So, find out if we can make any of those changes and then put it on for next month. But we have to warn it that we're considering that change so that
Yeah.
people can come.
Well,
on both
also-
sides.
Coming back to my first comment during hearing thing, whatever was at the beginning, there is interest to have the farmer's market. And this might be an opportunity to engage and get some momentum as you have a year to maybe make some significant changes. And so I'm just putting it out there that as a citizen, voluntarily, I'm gonna be involved with farmer's market. I don't know who this person is, but if you'd like to give my name, I'll get her number, I'll make an introduction in the spirit of building community and collaboration to move towards more vitality for the community.
and
I'm here tonight unexpectedly, and I offer that.
that was kind of like the first step with this is to even make sure that the person in that position knows that that's the expectations of doing these types of events as well, not just the sports, and that was, first step towards that.
Basically saying you wanna give her SMART objectives.
Alright, manager's report. Or do we need anything on this? Need a motion or anything on this? Or just-
Nope,
it's
informational.
informational.
It's informational, and if you want me to move forward with adjusting it, or we just, we're
Let's
gonna
find
just
out
have
how
a
we,
meeting on.
how much we can.
In May, yep. So, we'll go back to some other good news, and mud season is seemingly coming to an end this year. I know it's not everywhere, but the roads are looking a lot better, right? Exactly. We've spent the last few weeks putting stone down, in some of the heavier, muddier areas. Of course, it's always slow, cause we can't get on the roads. But they're in pretty decent shape right now, and they're dried out, so, this week we're starting to grade the roads, to take care of all those potholes, which is also a great little, spring thing. So we know there's a lot of potholes, but in the next couple of weeks, we should have the whole town graded and start working from there, so a little good news, I guess. I also wanna remind everybody, the Green Up Day, is May 2nd. There's a sign-up sheet in the entryway to the town office. May 2nd at 8:30, you can sign up there, 8:30 in the morning, starting 8:30 in the morning at the Village Green in Proctorsville, where they'll be giving out gloves and, trash bags, and I'm not sure about the
I think it's at 9.
I think that out there said 8:30. I would definitely correct that if I'm wrong. But they'll be giving out gloves and trash bags, and you can pick a road there that day on May 2nd. And there's also a cookout from 11:30 to 1.
You're right.
Okay, it's 8:30. And I also want to say that I have contacted the state. I know this is all over the news and apparently social media about Act 181. I've asked the state to come in and give us like a presentation. It sounds like it's going to be end of May, early June before that happens. I know they're going to a lot of different towns. That'll probably be a hearing all its own, whether it's with the planning commission and select board together. Just the planning, I'm not sure how that's going to work yet, but it will be.
And we did
questions.
discuss it a little bit at the planning commission's
Yeah.
last meeting, so.
And it should,
Treat it like two.
a lot of that information is for the planning commission as well. But it'll be a kind of a joint thing when we have it, questions and answers from the guys themselves. I kind of look forward to that.
Some answers.
And some answers. They honestly don't have, the tier 3, all the answers yet anyways. That's why they're gonna put it off until June, until everything was really settled with them.
Some of the discussion I had with Tim was they didn't really have a lot of answers, as you said. that-
Right.
Yeah, they didn't even have maps done.
Right, that's why it's gonna be pushing into June, when they hopefully have some of those answers, that they can tell us and answer questions on. That's pretty much it.
Before we go into executive session, Dave, you got anything else?
I'm sure you've been looking into it, but the school side, it's been down since last fall.
Yep, it's been quite a while. Myself and Emma, the principal, have contacted the state multiple times. We heard they couldn't get out during the winter because everything was frozen. It's time. I talked to them again a week ago, and they're supposed to be putting it up. It's not happening very fast. I also asked them to look into alternatives. Does it need to be a flashing sign? Can you put a sign out there that says between these hours, it's the speed? It's their signs, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping they can do something other than those very problematic lights.
And the other thing is that, I don't remember the house number across the street where the water leak was.
5, yep.
Is anything being done with that? The
We-
garbage around it is disgusting.
At the last board meeting, I was asked to write a letter for their bill, so I have sent them that. I haven't heard from them. On multiple occasions, I've had to write them and go there with the health officer and write them citations on their trash. We're gonna have to do that again as well.
Will that have to be mailed, cause no one's there, right? Is that correct?
No one's there. We mail, well, that's not their mailing address that we send anything to. It's down a little further south. But yeah, the health order would actually be, it would be sent certified mail.
I was kinda hoping they'd get the bill and wanna come up here and talk to us.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna wanna talk to somebody when they get the bill, cause it's a pretty,
Cause I wanna talk to them too.
hefty bill. It's 1.5 million gallons of water, so.
That relates to your
Yeah.
shower,
I'm aware.
the millions and millions
I
of
was
gallons that we wasted.
choosing not to disclose.
Dave, you good?
I'm good.
Just wanna say about the signs of the school, I think the flashing lights, people notice that.
They do.
I would go for the flashing.
And the state
I
might
mean-
say no.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's state sign, they might say, no, that's the only thing you can
Yeah.
have. But maybe there's something that don't have to have so much programming. I mean, obviously, that one was Randover, that was a little different, but
Yeah.
even when they're up, they don't tend to work all the time.
I did notice though, if you're using like a local GPS or if you have Google Maps up in your vehicle, like Apple CarPlay, as you get past 20 Mile Stream, it gives you a warning school zone. It
Yeah.
comes right up on, which is pretty nice.
Still like those flashing lights.
Is this alluding to the speeding issue that goes on? Right, cause I live right past Maple Street, so I'm on 131. And at 7 AM, you know who's going 50 miles per hour.
Mhm.
And I always think, there's a school right there, slow down. Is that part of this?
And the sheriff has spent a lot of time, when he is here, right there. He has been spending quite a bit of time.
It's telling people to slow down to 25 miles an hour
For the
Yeah,
school.
because of
I
the
mean,
school.
I mean, you can hear it in the middle of the night, it's horrendous, but school hours,
Yeah.
middle of night, you know.
Yeah, those flashing lights are just, it's supposed to be, that's when it's 25 mile an hour zone. And they have an MOU with the state, and they're only, it's only on 15 minutes or, actually I can't, there's a certain time frame, they're not on all day. When they're coming into school and when they're leaving school is when those are supposed to be flashing. And they just don't work all the time.
Anything else?
Yeah.
No, I didn't wanna assume that you were done.
I'm done.
I'm good. We need a motion to go into executive session.
Yeah.
Make a motion, we go into executive session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Except for me, no, I'm just kidding.